Have you ever wondered what your non-human character would look like as a human? Some people couldn't care less of going through the pain of drawing a human. But to fulfill my own curiosity, I went through all of the torment just to see. This intro sucks because it's unscripted, but I couldn't care less to make a script because I sound robotic and unnatural, so welcome to the channel. Today, I am going to be taking 4 of my original object characters and turning them into humans. For this video, I decided to make official designs for them because I thought it would be a fun challenge. So let's just hop right into it. So the first character I'm going to be starting with is Zenith. He is a globe, and he's kind of a complicated little guy. At first, he's mean and standoffish, aloof and cold, but when he meets a particular character, he kind of starts to come out of his shell. So his design over the course of a few years has changed the least. I've always had kind of a consistent idea for what I want him to look like. It's just kind of changed with my style. And in some designs, I had his scar make his eye blind, but I decided not to make it that severe because although simple, I like the charm that I was able to capture with his design. I think his personality just fits, and that it represents his character very well. The next character we're going to be working on is Lucine. She's inspired by those vintage lamps that have stained glass panes on their shades, but she's also a bit of an oil lamp, so she has a fire feature in her chest. Lucine is very bubbly and bright and happy, and she's welcoming of other characters, and she's very sweet. And although life has not been kind to her, she decides to be kind to others to break that cycle. Alongside Gertrude, Lucine has had some of the most changes to her human design. So you'll notice in this first design that I changed the color of her hair to something a bit darker, but there was just something about it that I really couldn't put a finger to. So when I asked my mom, she suggested that to represent the colors of her lampshade, I add teal highlights to her hair. And so I really liked this idea, and I think it turned out really well. So after I had completed the humanizations for Lucine and Zenith, I made an animation, and I really didn't like it. So I decided that instead I really wanted to make an illustration between them, something that was a little bit personal and just deeply meaningful. So I was inspired by this artist on Pinterest, and I decided to take the pose and make it my own. For this piece, I wanted it to be really rendered and really pretty without it being too complex or distracting. So I made the background kind of focus the colors where their faces are, and I also did a kind of a sun and moon feel to just kind of show their dynamic and how well they go together. Now this character, you may have seen him before in a couple of my videos. I have an entire 5-minute long animatic devoted to him. But this is Gertrude. Yes, Gertrude. The name was given to him by a friend as a joke, and it kind of stuck on accident. But it's canonical that he hates his name, so he changes to the Moon Guardian, but we all know that his name kind of sucks. Gertrude is the antagonist of the story. He's very cold and calculating and mysterious, so he has kind of an alluring air to him that attracts others, and he's in a place of status and power, so he's respected and revered. However, as the story goes on, his darker intentions are unraveled, and he is able to show his true colors. Gertrude has had one of the roughest journeys with his humanizations. I have tried so many different combinations. I accidentally made a version of him that kind of resembled my dad, and I was so embarrassed that I deleted it. I have this version where his arms are kind of a gradient into claws, which I kind of thought were gross. He has this version, which I don't even care about, but the cape as wings, do remember. And then we have this version, which is very close to the one that I am going to make in this video, but I didn't like him having wings. It was a difficult process because I wanted Gertrude to have resemblance to his original character without making him look too dark or weird, because we all know that my art is not dark whatsoever. So based on an inspiration my friend gave me, I decided to give him little elf ears to show that he is not exactly normal. He's not the same as the other characters. He's a humanoid, but he's just kind of off. So this is how his design turned out, and after having such trial and error to get one that looked right, I'm really happy with how it came out. And last but certainly not least, we have Castor. Castor is a little clock that kind of resembles a sunflower and also a sun, so I guess you could call him a sun clock, sundial, whatever. But he's very kind, and he has these flames that run out of him eternally. I just wanted to make his flame element cross over into his human design. So, kind of a suggestion my friend gave me, I made his hair kind of resemble a fire. So, kind of like Princess Celestia from My Little Pony as a close resemblance, I don't know. His hair kind of flows eternally like a little flame, so he's forever stuck with a little ponytail, but I think it's cute. Castor is very kind, and he often puts others' well-being before his own, and he's a good friend of Gertrude. He is just the brightest little beam of sunlight, and everyone adores him and reveres him for his position of status. I'm really happy with how he turned out. His little freckles, his little smile. I just really enjoy drawing Castor as a human because I think his colors go really well together. So to conclude this video, these are the 4 humanizations that I made, and I really enjoyed this process. If you guys would like to see more content like this, then please let me know, because I had a good time making this video. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I hope that you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.